Let's begin with the death of little Caylee Anthony. It was exactly 1 year ago today that the mystery began to unfold. NBC's Carrie Sanders has been covering the case from the very beginning. Carrie, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Meredith. It was a grandmother's frantic 911 call 1 year ago today that set off one of the fiercest death penalty battles in memory. Casey Anthony is charged with killing her daughter, Caylee. She maintains her innocence. A trial date is still a year away, and the investigation so far has cost more than $1 million.
It was the missing child case that's become a legal dogfight, the outcome far from clear. But from the moment Caylee's disappearance was known, there was suspicion she might be dead. Caylee's mother's Casey's car was found in a parking lot by her mother, Cindy. And when Cindy dialed 911 1 year ago today, she talked about the stench of death.
I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
Yet in interview after interview, including here on Today, Cindy and George Anthony denied Casey had anything to do with it, and they clung to the belief that their granddaughter Caylee was alive, possibly being held by someone.
And if people just keep looking for Caylee, we're going to find her. I know that.
What makes this case so curious, and what alerted investigators from the start, was Caylee had disappeared a full month before her mother, Casey, alerted anyone. Photos later surfaced showing Casey out partying, seemingly indifferent to her daughter's disappearance. But despite Casey's highly suspicious behavior after her daughter vanished, prosecutors still don't know how Caylee died, and they've struggled to explain why a seemingly loving mother would murder her child.
If you were to take any case across the country and ask the prosecutor, where did this person die? I don't know. When did this person die? I don't know. Chances are you wouldn't have a murder case, and most definitely you wouldn't have a death penalty case.
Add to that the complications of overwhelming media coverage.
It's hard to get an absolutely fair trial in any case. This is so over the top that it's so unfair that even a potentially guilty person, which my gut tells me she is going to have an out potentially here.
Orange County prosecutors say they're not tracking costs in this case or the 122 other murder cases in their district. Cheney Mason is a prominent Orlando lawyer who's followed the Casey Anthony case closely.
I would estimate that the cost of the prosecution in this case without a change of venue is going to be in the neighborhood of $1.5 million. Change of venue, I suspect it'll push it up to closer to a couple of $1 million for the prosecution side of the case alone.
Experts say defense costs are likely to run $2 million as well. One question that remains unanswered is how does a 23-year-old unemployed woman afford that? A source close to the family now says that she may file for indigent status, which means her defense costs, or most of her defense costs, would be picked up by taxpayers. Meredith?
All right, Carrie Sanders, thanks. Dan Abrams is NBC's chief legal analyst. Dan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Meredith.
As Carrie just pointed out, 1 year later, there are still so many questions about this case, beginning with what exactly happened to Caylee Anthony. How was she killed? When was she killed? As the prosecution starts to build this case, I mean, they've been trying for a while now, what is the greatest hurdle they face?
The circumstantial evidence, meaning they've got the circumstances on their side, meaning the totality of what happened, the fact that she didn't call, the photos, etc. The question is going to be how powerful and persuasive is the circumstantial evidence? Can they link mom to the body in an incriminating way? Because remember, it would be expected that, for example, her DNA, meaning the mother's, would be found near the body, on the body, etc. The key is finding it, for example, on the duct tape, being able to find decomposition in the car, etc.
So is it the prosecution that's asked for the delay in this trial, and now it's pushed to next summer?
Well, look, a defense can demand a speedy trial. So if the defense wanted to have this trial immediately, they could certainly make it happen more quickly. I think it's clear that both sides want a little bit extra time here. Remember that she was arrested, then they found the body, which posed a whole new set of questions in this case.
It's expected that the defense will ask for a change of venue because of all the media coverage. Will the delay help them with that argument or hurt them with that argument?
Well, it will hurt them with that argument, but may help them in the long term in the case, meaning that if we go a year from now, there won't be quite as much coverage of it out there. The people won't be quite as familiar with all the facts as they are today. So on the one hand, it will probably weaken the argument for a change of venue, and on the other hand, it may help the defense if that's really what they're concerned about.
Casey Anthony is also charged with more than a dozen counts of fraud fraud, and the prosecution wants to see that trial come to fruition within 60 days. Why?
Yeah.
What is the strategy
Well,
there?
I mean, their position is just because we have to wait on the murder trial doesn't mean that we have to wait on this other case. Their position is that they've got the evidence, they're ready to go on the fraud case, and they want to move forward, that they don't need the sorts of delays that you need in connection with the murder case.
But are they hoping that if she's found guilty of fraud, that will possibly hurt her credibility in the next trial, in the criminal trial?
If she were to take the stand, it could. If she were to take the stand, a felony conviction very well might come in against her. I don't think that that's really the strategy here. My guess is they want to move forward with that case and not have this murder case delay everything else.
And when you talk about the bill, the defense bill of $2 million potentially, and that if she's declared indigent, then the state will have to pay. How does that happen?
Well, I think that she's got to be already paying through somehow this lawyer, or unless the lawyer's doing it for free or at a very reduced fee. But if the state has to take over, you can be assured that the court is going to tell this lawyer, hey, if you've got some big fees out there, we're not paying them. You're going to have to significantly reduce your fees in order for the state to pay.
All right, a lot more to come. Dan Abrams, thank you so much.